G'day folks, welcome back to Mike's Radio Repair and Restoration. We're carrying on with our series on doing some modifications to this Lafayette KT-200 or an HE-10. The last we left off, we successfully added voltage regulation and brought oscillator stability to the unit. And when we parted in that video, I had told you I was going to go away and do some engineering on the BFO, and I've spent the better part of the morning tinkering around, and I've certainly found a solution. It's extremely simple to do and produced some wonderful results. So we're going to go through all of it now. I think the best thing to do would probably be start with the schematic, show you where it was, and show you where I moved it to. And then we'll take a look at the bottom of the set, and we'll look at what the actual results of that were. So just hang tight, and we'll get a schematic up here in a second. Okay, here we have the original schematic for the KT-200/HE-10, and this is the BFO circuit here, and this dotted line is the BFO output, and it goes in via a gimmick, which is just some twisted wires. It injects the signal between the last IF transformer and the detector, so there's no real amplification for it, and this is kind of the root of our problem. This dotted line simply means this isn't a coax type of a cable with an interior center conductor and an outer braid, just to try to protect the signal to some degree as it goes across the set, because it does travel from one side of the set to the other, so they put it in a cable. So we can see the gimmick that's here, we can see the feed point, and so my first gut instinct, as I had mentioned in the last video, was to move it over in front of the second IF amplifier. So let's have a look at that. So here's the drawing that I've done. I have taken and removed the connector, the gimmick. In my case, there was a 2-puff capacitor. There may be a 2-puff PF capacitor for you, or it may be twisted wire. Don't know, but it's easy enough to navigate. So I've made this bright, big black bold here, and I've moved the gimmick capacitor over to the input of the second IF amp. And I've made a gimmick, and it's 20 gauge wire, 4.5 turns, and we're going to see what that looks like in a minute. But this was completely corrective of the radio's problem now. It still does what it was originally to do, which was generate a CW beat note, but now the carrier level strength is there enough to demodulate strong SSB signals now. So this is one of the simplest mods you can do. This, coupled with the voltage regulator, made this possible to really enjoy listening to sideband, or be able to do it with relative amount of ease with little frustration. So we can just go back to the original again. You can see the original output runs right up here. We go forward again, and we can see how that moved. And you can just pause the video here and screen grab this if you want. I zoom in on it a bit here now. Real simple stuff. Now, while I did this, I did another small modification that I do to a lot of sets. This has got a nice little S meter attached to it. So it, where are you, Mr. S meter? Over here. Here is the S meter. If something bad was to happen in this circuit, the S meter could take quite a brunt of current flowing through it, and we really don't want to damage the S meter if the tube goes dead short or something along that line, or whoever knows. So I always put a couple of diodes across the meter to protect it. That way the voltage can't rise any more than about 0.7 of a volt and protect the meter. So I've done this. I've put a couple of 1N4007s across the meter to protect it. So, you know, everybody can sleep at night now. So let's go to the bench. We'll flip the radio over and I'll show you how I did this incredibly simple modification that worked wonderfully. All right. Our beat frequency oscillator is down in this area close to where we put our VR regulator tube. There's I think it's a 6AV6 and the tank circuit for the BFO oscillator. And it comes, here's the cable for it here. The signal comes out and it drops into a bundle of other cables that travel up the back of the RF deck. And now the cable you can see just here, move this wire, terminates on a terminal block. And there used to be a 2-puff capacitor that would couple it into that final tube. But what I've done is I've soldered on this red wire and I've come up to the input of the second IF amp and I've just simply, this is how simple it is, I've wrapped 4.5 turns of wire, excuse me, around the input of that tube. And that's all I've done. And it just, it works real good. So hang on a second and maybe I can zoom in on this a little better. Just one second. All right, here I think we're zoomed in a little bit better here. But we can see that the red wire terminates on this block where the cable comes up from the bottom. And again, simply 4.5 turns around that wire. And I believe that's 20 gauge, typical tube amp, tube radio, 600 odd volt rating wire. I get from Tony's Capacitor Corner. I got some from him and it's pretty good. So it's solid copper, so it holds form quite well. It's not multi-stranded stuff that won't wrap like that. So that's just how simple and easy it was. So instead of me doing a lot of blabbering here, let's flip it over, connect it up, and have a listen and see how much better it actually works now.
Wire antenna about 200 feet. 200 feet of wire and about 40 feet. Roger, roger. You're running S7. 5 and 7 here, Sean. It's a Summit Point, West Virginia, not too far from Washington, D.C. Let's see, you're in Ontario. How are you close to Toronto? Over. Yeah, about 200 miles. 200 miles east of Toronto, Canada, capital of city, Ottawa. Go ahead. Oh, Ottawa. That's the capital, as I recall. I've been there. Ottawa. Okay, are you?
So we have a weak station and a strong station here. The BFO modification is working great. It's not uncommon that, for those of you who know how to do this with a BFO, but those who don't, usually you have to adjust your IF gain up and down for strong and weak stations. So it's a little bit of fiddling, but for radio that wasn't really intended to receive sideband, it works very well.
Myself, my ex-whale by our daughter and her husband. Well, everything was already paid for. I know we were lucky enough to have a box there one year, and you know, all the alcohol and the private toilet and all that stuff. Hey, I'm not going to hold it here, Bob. Thanks for coming back. I just playing with this random wire antenna and trying to get deal with the RF in the shaft here, and I think I've got it nipped in the butt, so it seems to be working quite well. I'm able to use 160 through 30, and then I use the vertical for 20 through 10. So it seems to be working great. You're done great again, Bob. Thanks for the call, and we'll be sure to continue on. Yeah, I'm running power here, and I'm running 2 elements here, a little bit of power. That might be why I'm a little bit stronger. Actually, I'm looking at a meter. I'm peaking at a kilowatt here.
So this strong station we're listening to, I couldn't do before this
You're doing
modification.
well. I detect.
The other station is very weak in that. Hope you can hear them. So you can open up the receiver again a little bit for a weaker station.
from West Virginia there. You have a great day from Ontario. Okay, all the best there, Sean. Take care and say hi to XYL. Tell her to hope the Senators do well. We'll see what happens to our team this evening here. All the best. VA3YA, KT-200. Have a great Christmas, Sean. Catch you later. Yeah, V3, actually. V3YA. I'm sorry, I have another call like that. It worked weird. Thanks, take care, Sean. It's been great. KT-200, Kilo 8, November, Yankee. 2 words in.
See if we can find anybody else here.
Well, service for exclusive kind of experience. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's an experience. So, and we're glad it was very.
This is a joy compared to what it was.
Happy with the
I
overall
can move the game without the frequency
Only
changing.
that today we need to rest. Hi. All right, so you're back to a ham sandwich today, right? Yeah, well,
There's other stations in there.
actually my birthday.
Awesome. So I'm gonna be doing something else. So 7-3 guys, good talking to you, and we'll talk to you tonight at 8. Chess.
So I think that's enough of a demo. I think that we'll call that a success. So thanks for tuning in. And if you've got one of these radios, now you know you can put the voltage regulator in and have the oscillator stabilized. And with a very simple modification to the BFO, you can very easily now enjoy sideband. Anyways, folks, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you later.